Good afternoon, beautiful spirits. Welcome to Pure Pugilism. I am Myron Magnus, and right now I'm about to give you my pre-fight predictions and breakdown for the Danny Garcia and I just had a brain fart. My fight predictions and breakdown for, of course, Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter. And I'm just going to use a triangular method from both fighters in previous fights they had and how they did against similar techniques, styles, and fights. And I'll start that off with that helicopter's flying mighty motherfucking low. Airplane, I mean. Wow, okay. I thought it was about to hit the building. But okay. Let me start off with Shawn Porter's match against Keith Thurman, how he fared against him. And then I'm going to compare Danny Garcia's match against Lamont Peterson. And see how they both going to match up against each other. And let me just say this. I believe Danny Garcia has very, very, very little lateral movement, because we all can see that. He's pretty much a flat-footed fighter. And does that mean he doesn't have good footwork or bouncy? No. That just means he just doesn't move like a Keith Thurman does. Because when Shawn Porter fought Keith Thurman, Shawn Porter had to deal also with Keith Thurman's good lateral movement, good ring generalship, and everything. Even though it seems appeared Shawn Porter's maybe more dominating the ring generalship by constantly applying the pressure. It wasn't quite effective, and Keith Thurman was able to use his footwork, his ability to move around the ring very, very well against Shawn Porter and nullify some of his pressure. And so it looked like some of his pressure wasn't effective at all. And then sometimes Shawn Porter was got there where he wanted to get there. But he also got clocked a good few times too, with a couple of few left hooks that could have got him out of there, which also you have to credit Shawn Porter for having a wonderful chin. But Danny Garcia is not Keith Thurman. He don't move like Keith Thurman, okay? So that advantage is going to help out, or disadvantage for Danny Garcia is going to help out Shawn Porter. Now, another thing, Danny Garcia, when he fought Lamont Peterson, when we saw that fight, we saw Lamont Peterson playing around, doing a little, not as focused, of course, in the first fight, completely through, until it got to about the 7th round. When it got around to 6th, 7th, 8th rounds, we saw a different Lamont Peterson that was applying major pressure to Danny Garcia and looked like, to many of us, could have won that match. He could have got away with that, you know what I mean? But decision, of course, went to Danny Garcia, because Danny Garcia fought a pretty good fight too. But his ass was getting blasted in those later rounds. And you could tell it, and you could see it on his face. If you look at both of those two boxers after that fight, I'm talking about Lamont Peterson versus Danny Garcia, it looked like Lamont Peterson won that match. I think anybody would make that assessment, you know what I'm saying? Because Danny Garcia was getting rocked like shit later on in that fight. Pardon my French. So, and the thing is, Danny Garcia don't have the lateral movement and say he would use like a Keith Thurman to get out of there. And the thing is, Lamont Peterson don't move. Lamont Peterson don't move as well as Shawn Porter does. Shawn Porter got great lateral movement. I guess because he was a football player, those are one of the things you're going to get off rip. Is great footwork, okay? And very, 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 what's the word I would like to use? Dynamic mobility. So that's one thing that Danny Garcia is going to have to deal with, okay? Now, do I think also Shawn Porter got much, much, much more discipline and more focused than Lamont Peterson does. And we see Lamont Peterson almost came out with that win. Right? Right. A lot of us believe he won that fight. But again, my point is Garcia does not do well against fighters with great mobility. It showed that against when he fought Keith Thurman, and it showed that against Lamont Peterson. It's just I don't think he's going to be able to get off like he would like to, because Shawn Porter might have equal or better mobility than Keith Thurman does. Because Shawn Porter against Keith Thurman, we all agree, was a very, very, very close fight, a very great fight, and two boxers that was moving around that joint. Although Shawn Porter did get caught with a couple of left hands, almost put him out there. Same with Danny Garcia, when Danny Garcia fought Keith Thurman. He almost got hit with some clobber, some good lefts. You know what I mean? He made some good punches too. But again, what I'm trying to make the comparison and help you guys understand is that Danny Garcia has no mobility, but Shawn Porter has great mobility. Shawn Porter does not have the technical place, delivery of his punches as Danny Garcia has, though. Danny Garcia is very, very technical. He throws great punches. The left hook, the right, whatever it is. He has great technique. He throws them correctly, he throws them sharp. It gets there, he puts your ass out. Danny Garcia does have there. So if he can catch Shawn Porter with quite a few of those. You know what I mean? Because actually I think Danny Garcia may have better accuracy than Keith Thurman. I guess I have to bring Keith Thurman in as I was bringing the other fight. He has better accuracy than Keith Thurman, I think. You know what I'm saying? But his timing may not be as good as Keith Thurman. But sometimes you watch certain fights and certain fighters, it is. It's probably better. Keith Thurman could be a little bit more wilder than a Danny Garcia. Okay? And fight with more intensity. Danny Garcia doesn't have as much intensity as the Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? I got to use Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman has fought in both of them. And then and see how they fared. And taking the strengths and the weaknesses of each and comparing them, I think, I'm going to end this right here. I think this was going to be a 12-rounder decision, split decision for Shawn Porter. I think Danny Garcia is going to have a problem with the rugged style Shawn Porter is going to bring. And I don't believe he has the footwork and the mobility to escape it or get out of there as well as Keith Thurman did. So, do I think Danny Garcia is going to be a hell of a fight? Yes, I think Danny Garcia will get off on Shawn Porter every now and then. But I think Shawn Porter's going to make this thing bruising. Danny Garcia does not have the mobility to get away from this dude, the footwork. And I think that's going to give Shawn Porter the advantage. So, again, I predict Shawn Porter, 12 rounds, majority decision, or split. I think that's what it's going to be. I think Shawn Porter has a big enough profile so whereas Danny Garcia can't get some of these questionable decisions he's gotten versus some fighters. You know, there's a couple of fights with Danny Garcia, you could say Danny Garcia, that could have went either way. You know what I'm saying? The judges seeing or liking one particular way of style of fight or power. You know what I'm saying? And some influence. But I think Shawn Porter's profile is big enough where hard to maybe squeeze a unfavorable decision if he put in that good work. I think it's hard to get that on a Shawn Porter. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see. But I pick Shawn Porter, 12 rounds, again, majority split decision. Okay? But that's my predictions. Tell me yours. Tell me what you think about my perspective on the fight. And I'll talk to y'all later. One love.